Hey everyone, this is Anne with another mini episode of Let's Get Naked podcast. In this series, we're talking about making it make sense. And on this episode, we're going to talk about predatory colleges. We tell 17-year-olds they're too young to drink, too young to rent a car, too young to know what love is. But somehow they're old enough to sign their name on six-figure debt that'll follow them for decades. Make it make sense. Colleges sold a dream they couldn't deliver. Get a degree, get a good job, live your best life. Instead, millions got useless diplomas, broken promises, and interest rates that age like fine wine. You've got universities with billion-dollar endowments, literal dragons sitting on mountains of gold, while their graduates are working 3 jobs and drowning in debt just to afford rent and ramen. And when it all crashes down, the same institutions that caused the problem walk away clean, while the students and taxpayers foot the bill. If you oversell, underdeliver, and profit from lies, that's not education, that's fraud in a cap and gown. We don't let car dealers lie about horsepower or drug companies fake results, but somehow universities can promise career readiness with degrees that don't even get callbacks. The students shouldn't be the one paying for a system built to fail them. The government shouldn't be bailing out the same institutions that inflated the bubble. So I'm here with Cameron today, and Cameron brought this topic up a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was actually really fascinating. I didn't go to college, so I have zero college debt. That may or may not show from the way that I speak,
Sure.
So I don't have any college debt. But I do understand how detrimental that is to people, because we have kids in their 20s, and luckily we were able to help them with the things that we could. But most of their friends literally are drowning in debt. I mean, just suffocating. What a terrible feeling that is. And then you come to a place of have the government bail us out. Sure, that's all fine and dandy, but then the taxpayers have to foot the bill. And the student paying all of those, again, I agree with you. I feel like that's a whole predatory situation. Fuck the colleges, let them pay for it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I think that's the point that gets lost in the larger argument, right? Because we've politicized this situation, more recently, especially where under the I hate to talk politics, but under the Biden administration, they're talking about forgiving college debt, and now we're going to take taxpayer money and we're going to give the taxpayer money to the colleges, right, to offset this education that they've provided for people, right? And in most cases, unless you're a doctor or unless you're a lawyer, I think in most cases that people don't necessarily end up in careers that their college degree helped in any matter, right? And so that's a problem. Like that's something that we should probably pick apart. But it gets even worse, right? Because now you have colleges that offer degrees in, when I was younger, we used to call it, meaningless degrees like underwater basket weaving. And now it's like transgender studies and whatever. And where are you going to go with a degree in one of those two topics and get a job? No place, right? But there are dozens or hundreds even of colleges that are real happy to sell you that degree and give you some sort of what they call education towards that degree. And they're going to dress it up and tell you that you're going to get this degree and you're going to go get a better job and you're going to be head and shoulders above everybody else that's in the fields out there working, right? And it just doesn't turn out that way, right? You end up straddled with a bunch of debt, like most people, sitting in a job you don't particularly like. Again, I don't know what job you thought you were going to get with a degree in transgender studies or underwater basket weaving or whatever, but obviously it's a problem. As an employer, well, I'll say first, I also do not have a college degree. I am an employer. I have employed hundreds of people over the years. I've read thousands of resumes, and I'll tell you that, the college portion of that's pretty much overrated. I'm
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I've ever read through a resume specifically looking for college. I think that more often than not, when I've read what this person's degree in college was in and compared that to the job that person was applying for, it's one of those things where I think it probably counted more against the applicant than it did for the applicant, right? And so it's a big problem, and we can't turn to the government to fix it for us, because then we're asking people like me or people like Ann or other people that just went into the workforce that are out there doing their thing, and now it's not just paying for somebody else's mistake. Now we're having to pay for this grifting that colleges have done to peddle these useless degrees in the first place, right? And it's just wrong on every single level. It doesn't really matter how you slice it at that point.
Let's be real. Life doesn't come with a manual, but it does come with chaos. I wrote this book because I got tired of drowning in everyone else's noise and needed a way to fix my own shit. This isn't some sugar-coated self-help nonsense. It's raw, it's honest, and it's packed with tools that actually work in the middle of real life. If you're ready to stop playing small, take back your energy, and get unapologetically you again, this book is your playbook. You can pick up your copy of the Life Hack Playbook on Amazon or on our podcast website, letsgetnakedpodcast.com. Right. You're not saying we shouldn't forgive the loans. We're just saying the colleges should be the one that pays, not the not the government, not the student, the people that said we're going to give you underwater basket weaving. Don't worry, you're going to make have a great job after we fuck you up in college for 4 years and then send you out. You'd be better off to go learn a trade. Also, when did it become such a bad thing to learn a trade?
When did it?
Right. I mean, we're going to have a whole society full of people that aren't able to do anything with their hands.
Sure.
Those are the only jobs that are safe with all of this AI stuff, right? So, again, I agree with you. And I remember you and I having this conversation when they started doing all of this stuff with colleges. And I don't remember when it was, like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something. I don't remember specifically. But I remember you and I having this conversation of, this is not good. This is not good. We're going to give everybody loans. Everybody can go to college. We're going to pay for everything right now. It's so great. All of these things. Well,
sooner or later, somebody's got to pay the bill.
And we got to open our eyes, people, too. Like, when something sounds too good to be true, it usually is, right? Like,
it doesn't take a college degree to know that.
Well, okay. And that's all we're going to say about that.